Non, en fait, c'est bon. Ouais, t'inquiète.
Hail, friend, and remember, in Lucian's love there could be no wrong.
Qu'est-ce qui vous
I
attend?
expect Malady has an answer to that. It seems she's got it all in hand. Paradise awaits, my friend.
Ok, le paradis.
Not an actual paradise,
Ah oui, ok.
of course. I don't think there's such a place in all of Rivellon. Paradise Downs. My parents still sow the soil there.
D'accord.
And if the Order hadn't called me to its ranks, I'd still call their farm my home. I miss it. I miss them. They've been forever understanding of my duty.
Bah, va les voir.
I've been neglectful. I have some wrongs to right.
Va les voir. Tu vas les voir et puis ça ira bien. Contamination, frappe fossile. Invocation de fleurs affamées. Ouais, c'est que ça. Des nuages de poison maudits. Ok. Attention métal, fortification, tremblement de terre. Ça peut être sympa ça. 3 putain. Armure réactive. Physique actuelle, de pointe métallique dans la zone d'effet, y compris vous-même. Ah, c'est moche ça. En palmant c'est pas mal. Secousse du verre, ça j'ai déjà. Alors bélier, attaque éclair, bouclier de rebond, provocation, piqué du phénix, piétinement guerrier, enragement, barrière, coup handicapant. Au cœur de la mêlée. Oui, tourbillon. Alors qu'est-ce qu'il a? Bah, ça après c'est des merdes de trucs que j'ai moi, donc c'est pas gênant. Alors on va lui refiler des trucs d'OB. De l'ail, on va lui filer un truc d'ail. J'ai pas besoin de 15. Et comme disait l'autre, il n'y a pas de petit profit. Non, celui de imperception je le garde, ça vire. Livre de compétences, électrocution en chaîne, ça va être fumé de ouf. 8 fois dans un rayon de 8 mètres. Fumé, c'est bon. Hop, voilà. Et on est pas mal, hein, on est pas mal. Hop, tu vas me contrebalancer. Merde. Tu vas me contrebalancer avec ça et accepter. Voilà. Parfait. Alors, Sergent Zrilla.
I've plenty of fighters for hire, experts in blades, bows. Oh, I see you have a full contingent already.
Parfait, hop, on se casse. On va aller te causer, gamin.
I hadn't realized I was in such illustrious company when we met before. Most fascinating the things I've been hearing about you.
Qu'est-ce que t'as entendu à mon sujet?
That you're, how did Malady put it again? A god-woken. Yes, that's it. Quite remarkable if it's true.
Ok, ça change quelque chose
Tarquin pauses, taking you in. Genial smile and calculating eyes.
You make me sound so mercenary. No. I'm merely pleased to learn that my new friend has such great things awaiting him in the future. Both wise and well-mannered. You'll go far, I'm sure. I do hope I get to watch.
Tarquin.
Why, it was your ally, Malady, who spared me. She claimed that I might be of some use yet. Rather flattering to enjoy the favor of such a powerful being.
Qu'est-ce que t'as avec toi encore comme matos? Bon, c'est à lui que j'ai viré toutes les merdes. Grand gourdin magique de lézard. Ok, allez, salut, bisous. Ce fut rapide. Alors, du paquet. Sur la plage, abandonnée. Petite aile. Ah, elle s'appelle Petite aile.
The eggs are gone. Gone for good. No one to keep them warm. No one to keep them safe. Not my eggs, our eggs. All the family, all the eggs, every last one. Big March, sir. Big March will tell you everything.
Ok. Quoi? Ok, il n'y a pas l'air de vouloir.
You were. Where are they?
Eggy, Eggy, gone, gone. Baby Eggy gone for good. Help! 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 Marge? Marge, no. Marge, so off, Marge.
Yes, yes, you look just the type. Egg thief. I knew it. I found the culprit. Tell that to Big Marge, if you dare.
Ok. Ravage de la drogue. Même chez les poules. Pot de miel. Pas de miel. Et salut Hildelara. Bienvenue à toi sur le stream. Le Grand Margot.
I saw.
They were stolen. The babies, the eggs. Something took them. Horror, thief, horrible thief. It came in the night. It took the eggs. It scrambled away fast. Big as a cow, big as a house, and many legs. Too many. If I showed you, you could bring them back. You could bring them back. Map. Show me your map.
In a flurry of feathers, she leaps up and pecks a small hole in your map.
Les ravages de la drogue.
That's where they are. I went after my babies. I saw where they went. But they've changed so much. Much. Bring them back.
Ok.
I did not kill Alexander, you stupid ape.
Bonjour.
Release me.
A Magister guard approaches. Behind her, on the gallows, 2 lizards. One in a Magister uniform hangs dead from her neck. The other hangs from her hands, still alive.
Step away from the prisoner. She's hanging by her hands because the boss don't want her dead just yet. She's a tough one, Meister Seaver. She's a seeker and she's a bloody traitor. What have you heard? Have you heard that they killed our beloved Alexander? She was part of the Order. Knew Alexander personally. Alexander trusted her. At least as far as you can trust her, lizard.
C'est nous qui lui avons pourri la gueule en fait.
Pay that trust. She wasn't there when Alexander fell, but White Magister Raymond uncovered the truth. She's as guilty as any of them, and I reckon she got off lightly. I'd have had her flayed alive with a salted bullwhip.
Est-ce qu'il y a de la merde que je peux te vendre? Je sais pas. Hein. Armure physique de 9. Pause. Ok. Ah non, putain, ça passe pas, elle a pas la thune. Tant pis. Bonjour.
The lizard hangs from the gibbet, her face blooded and her scales discoloured. Her eye...
Welcome to Driftwood, God-woken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is work to be done.
Ouais, paraît bien ça.
Or, indeed, you could stand there gulping as if I just ran off with your femur. You might not have the brains anymore, but I pray you've managed to keep some wits.
The Meister bares her teeth, stained a deep pink by her blood, and growls.
Melody is unfortunately mistaken. I cannot train you, but I can certainly help you on your path, as long as I am free of this rope. Because along with torture and interrogation, the Magisters found space in their schedules to purge me, that's why.
Ah, mais il suffit de te refiler de la source, t'as qu'à aller te baigner dedans. Il y a une, il y a une flaque qui est pas très loin, t'inquiète pas. Ouais.
Quite some time at it too. Apparently I was a rich vein to be mined. And now I hang powerless as any butchered carcass. No offense meant towards your own venerable carcass, of course. They stopped the process just as the last of my power drained away. Just enough to rob me of my strength, but not enough to leave me a hollow sack of flesh and scales. I had hoped they simply wished to preserve my... It seemed Dallas had ordered that I be held until she could do the deed herself. To give it the personal touch, I imagine. Now that you have had that... that delightful little nugget of gossip, perhaps you could do your damn job and let me loose?
The lizard grimaces, shifting awkwardly as she dangles.
I am in intense pain. You are either insufferably cruel or insufferably stupid. Be quick about it before the Magister realizes their prize catch is about to slip through the net. Excellent. Now if you'd be so kind as to gut that startled-looking Magister, it would be much appreciated. I must secure my home before they do any more damage.
Allez, baston. T'as pris du renvoi dans la gueule, espèce de nouille. Alors, très bien. On va leur foutre un coup de grelon sur la gueule à eux, là. Voilà. Là, on a des gens qui gueulent. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Qu'est-ce qui t'arrive,
The little
gamin?
boy lobs a stone across the river. It makes a long arc before plunging into the water below.
Oh, Ma! Are you alright? Ma! Huh? Please, you have to help her. There was a fight. Some dwarves attacked some magisters and there were sorcerers too. And then the books came. Those void things.
Ok.
They killed everyone. And my mom got them to chase her. And she went across the bridge. And then she raised the bridge and she told me to run. And now she's stuck over there with them.
Alors, elle a fait ça uniquement pour le protéger.
Not without Ma.
Protège-toi.
Family doesn't just leave each other. You will. Maybe you can cross the river then. Ma lifted the bridge, but there's got to be another way, right? There's got to be a way. We'll save Ma. I know we will.
Okay.
His gaze shoots to the ground. He grabs a small flat pebble and chucks it across the river. Again, it lands in the water below, well before reaching the other side of the cliffs.
Okay.
I'll keep distracting him.
He performs a divine order salute.
Now go out, Ma.
Ouais. Ouais. Ils sont en train de se foutre la gueule l'un sur l'autre. Oh les gueules. Ouais,
Don't let up now. Keep hauling that cargo.
fais pas trop chier non plus, hein, ils vont finir par t'envoyer balader. Hein.
Put your backs into it. I'll not lose another day to the tide.
Putain, comment il balance
The
ça.
Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath. I'll...
The Magister stops, barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
You do not get to make that decision. That decision is mine. A good day? Let's talk about a good day.
C'est quoi cette allumée encore?
Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods?
J'ai vu ça, ouais.
Ah, you've met with what's left of Siva, have you? I'm so very glad you're familiar with my work.
He licks his lips. Dry flesh turns wet.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss. In that case, you'd better think very carefully about the next words that escape your stinking trap.
Je vais te pourrir la gueule, toi, si tu continues.
I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yapping at my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth. That is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
Meilleur track source, mec.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Ça sent le poisson crevé, mec. C'est pas la source que tu sens, c'est ton cul.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. The very definition of your order's existence. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters. But they do.
Dire qu'à l'entendre, vous l'auriez cru capable de s'occuper lui-même de quelques agitateurs nains.
I'm quite capable. But as you can see, I'm also preparing to set sail. And who will deal with them when I'm gone? Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule?
J'en ai un avec moi.
A beast of burden. But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I've need of a rat catcher. Of course, I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot. Ask and he will answer.
Stay behind? But I've my orders. Same as you.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up?
For a few moments his hand hangs motionless in the air, then is withdrawn with a swift and determined finality.
Je pense que je vais vouloir le buter.
Hard feelings it is. I'll remember. The time has come, my stitched lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Left behind like a dog. Bah. 7 curses upon that ship.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear, apparently, from the blast of magic that knocked him off his feet.
You, the supposed source hunter. I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it. Oh, I'm ever so pleased you changed your mind. Given that it's cost me my place on the Lord Dread. Now answer me. Did you meet with a Magister caravan on your way into town? The hour's growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong. By the Bishop's bones, you saw it? Out with it, man. What happened? Void woken. That means source was used. Which means some third party must have attacked first. And I've a fair idea who that might have been. Raymond, that old goat, always suspected there's more to the Driftwood dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, a caravan attacked and destroyed. Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure, and hard workers too. Half of them are their Queen's spies. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist to boot. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Hole Tower.
Très bien. J'ai les godasses
I
de son
suspect
fils.
this man of being a spy for his queen.
It may be interesting to have a word with him. Find out what he's up to. Where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs, to the west of Driftwood.
It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves may have... Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working on behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be handsomely rewarded, I assure you. In that case, go forth and let the hunt commence.
Qui a des rues Togorov.
Latest news! Fresh from the War Owl! Here are many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, the queen. What tickles your fancy?
La guerre.
Ain't looking too good for them lizards. Word is, the Divine Order's gonna hit the ancient empire and hit it
Ah,
hard.
ça va pas plaire à
You
l'autre
remember
rouge, ça.
what happened to the elves, don't you? Ain't no one left standing when you treat them to death, Fog. 7 savers. Stabbed in the back he was by them vile, low-born, treacherous seekers. Kill them all, I say. Do them like Magister Raymond did old Lady Siva.
Enfin, Siva, elle est pas morte.
I mean, they doomed us all, didn't they? The son of the Divine is dead. Gone. Who'll save us now? Jolly Justinia, Queen of the Dwarves. Ha! Scourge, more like. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped all the way to the execution grounds. Didn't even give them the dignity of the sword, no sir. Had them all up.
Sacrément allumé. Hein.
Real. You ask me, and I say she's mad as a mink with its tail on fire. Queen or no?
Okidoki.
At this rate, there'll be no steak for Lucian's Day.
Aran le marchand.
Wars are brewing, my friend, and I'll stand by your side. But prices will go up, even for one of our own. Buy now and buy often. Special prices for you, my friend. Gotta stick with your own in times of trouble, right? War is hell, my friend. Very good for business. Good luck to you.
Hop, tu vas m'équilibrer ça. Ok. Terminé. Juste voir, lui, est-ce qu'il a... Merde. Autrement, se demander les menottes. What?
If Aunt Benmez does our live and breathe.
Et merde.
I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you and no mistake.
Qui Benmej?
One eye squints, the other bulges out even further, as if to compensate.
Oh, it's you, all right. It's definitely you.
Dex. Quelle merde envie de vous enfermer afin de regarder pour elle toute seule. Yes. Oh putain.
Your little tricks won't work on me, Benmez.
She considers your offer.
How much?
3 copées. Lui offrir royalement 3 copées. La frapper au visage à l'aide de votre bourse, ce serait très drôle.
So little. You can sit and think about your stinginess at leisure.
Non.
Oh, that's it.
Mais tu m'emmerdes, bordel. Oh putain. Ah, mais tout le monde en plus. Sérieusement? Mais genre pourquoi? Mendiant inactif, mais genre? Mais pourquoi? De vrai en fait, pourquoi? Oh, vous me faites chier. Hein. Oh, vous me faites chier, niquez-vous tous. Hein. Crieur des rues. Non mais putain, mais tout le monde quoi. Salut Casino Tank, bienvenue à toi sur le stream. Putain mais tout le monde. Bon bah allez tous vous faire foutre. Allez, on va commencer ici. Allez. Pour me faire chier. Ok, Ifan. Alors déjà, on va commencer par te pourrir la gueule à toi. Là je peux pas encore. Bah, écoute, on va buter celui qui est là. Là. Mystère belle là. Putain, me faire chier. Aïe. Et voilà. Eh ben, bon, allez, le loot. Tout looter là, comme les gros porcs. Oh, oui. Hop. On va tout looter comme des porcs. En tout cas, autant que possible. Adios. Mystère B là. Ok. Raccroche les wagons toi. Alors, Rashti. Putain mais les mecs quoi. Oh bah ouais, du coup on va tout prendre. Effectivement, ça va être plus simple. C'est genre tellement pas prévu ça. Trop de choses à porter. Oui bah tant pis, tu fileras le... Oh le stuff. Ah mais oui mais c'est le marchand lui. Oh c'est le super marchand lui, c'est pour ça. Alors attendez là, parce que... attendez là. Là il y a du merdier là. Alors, attendez, il va falloir qu'on regarde. Alors Clémor, 25-27. Non, H du Bourgognien, j'ai bien mieux. Bouclier de guerre. Épée elfique à une main, donc ça c'est pour toi qu'il va falloir regarder. 16-17. Non. Pas là encore du poisson pourri. Toi, qu'est-ce que tu veux?
The dwarf reaches into a barrel and pulls out a fish. His knife glides through the scales, crimson guts spilling out in its wake.
Du poisson pourri. Ça a l'air de vous plaire le poisson pourri, donc écoute, je vais pas vous dédire. Hein. Tac, tac, tac. Très bien, 21 pour 29. Je vais filer ça. Tu équilibres. Et voilà, on est bien. Allez, hop, t'as ton poisson. Attends, c'est quoi ça? Ah, une pièce d'or, merde, putain. Ok.
The innards fall to the floor, landing in a pool of dark bile. You'd expect fish to smell, but these reek.
Personne n'a acheté du poisson pourri.
You see the nose on my face, don't you? I bloody know it smells, and I don't care as long as it sells. And sells it does. Somehow.
Putain, sérieux.
But the boss has found a buyer for this lot. It is to be shipped off to Arts in the next wagon, if you believe it.
He runs his knife through another fish and flicks the blade, sending a shower of guts to the ground.
I'd say your guess is as good as mine. Except I got the sense not to ask any questions. Now why don't you march on?
The dwarf turns back to his work, slicing and disemboweling fish after fish, as the blood and black bile mix and swirl around his boots. Looking at the barrel, you see that someone has scrawled Black House on it in paint. You cast your eyes around to see that every barrel headed to Arcs has the same inscription.
Okay.
Here, leave them barrels alone. I told you to take a hike, so scram.
T'inquiète, t'inquiète. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce bordel? Oh yes! Dague non identifiée. Frappez aux ennemis par derrière, vous plan dans rien, vous pouvez éplucher une pomme. Yes. Eh, c'est cool d'avoir du matos légendaire. Faut vraiment que je monte le truc de recherche. Alors là, tu vas regarder ce que c'est que cette truc là qu'on a dégoté. Éviscérateur. Éviscérateur. Mon Dieu, qu'est-ce que c'est que cette merde? Index, 1, une main, 3 initiatives. Ok. Très bien. Alors, voyons voir. Voyons voir. Où est-ce qu'on peut aller? On peut aller par là. Vous en doutez là, du coup, on ne peut rien prendre. Alors, voyons voir. Est-ce que toi, on peut te parler à toi? Lambeau le chien.
The wooden decking, like there's something wrong.
Something's wrong. Something's wrong, and it's not right. I don't know, but there's something wrong, and it's underneath the floor. Be careful down there, missus. You're not smelling what I'm smelling.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
The dwarf peers at an expertly dissected fish, gently poking its innards with his knife.
Je continue à vendre leur poisson de merde. Est-ce que j'ai d'autres choses que je peux lui refourguer, les machins qui me font chier? Un truc qui valent 2 balles en fait. C'est un qui vaut 2 balles là. Je récupère celui-là et puis je file ça. 31. Et hop, tu m'équilibres ça et on va en. Merci. Bisous.
Fascinating. Most fascinating. Oh my, I mean, no, what do you want?
With a small grin, the dwarf glances between you and his handiwork and shrugs.
Indeed I am. They can close our schools, but they can't take away what I've been taught. Besides, there's still so much to learn. Plenty. These tainted fish are causing a lot of hardship. If I can understand what's happening to them, perhaps there'll be a way to reverse the effects.
Okay.
Yes, as it happens. I need to see the effects of eating these fish firsthand, if you understand me.
Ok.
Do as I ask, and you'll be amply rewarded, I guarantee you.
Okay.
Wonderful. Now, there's 3 samples that I wish to learn more about. Care to choose?
On va commencer par le marron.
The fish instantly churns your insides. Everything turns black.
Ah.
A sudden vivid sensation of floating in darkness assails you. There's something in there with you. Something. Hungry and corrupt. You can't breathe. You can't breathe. The dwarf suddenly drifts back into view, peering at you with fascination.
How do you feel?
Mal.
A stream of black bile suddenly erupts from your mouth and across the dwarf's boots. He doesn't even look displeased.
Dire qu'en fait, vous n'avez rien senti. Hein? Hein?
Doesn't look like you didn't feel a thing, which is interesting enough by itself. Speaking of which, I've learned a great deal from observing you. I owe you a great debt.
The dwarf puffs up his chest and proudly gestures to the fish.
The fish is indeed malignant.
Merci.
Humans are affected by it in the same manner as other species. Thank you, but no. I can only allow for 1 specimen per volunteer, or my findings could become flawed. The fish you ate is known as the umber monkfish, a remarkably intelligent breed. In fact, its flesh is often used to create intelligence mixtures. Now this monkfish, one that's been touched by the void itself, who's to say how its flesh could augment an intelligence brew? It could prove to be most valuable.
Oui, ou alors ça va rendre le mec complètement con.
Find somewhere that offers intelligence brews, then add this monkfish sample. The effects could be most interesting. So, now my work must continue, as soon as I've got in my quota of fish, of course.
Bonjour, bonjour.
You see a man, well-fed and wealthy, but stress has lined his face and narrowed his waist. He tries to ignore your presence, fails. He sighs.
See here. I'm very busy. The factory is crawling with magisters, and our shipments to Arks are held up. Time is money. Don't waste my money. What do you want?
On n'est pas plus riche pour autant. Ah! On va pouvoir vendre des conneries maintenant. Vas-y, go. Ah, on va pouvoir causer. Vas-y, ça vire. Ça vire. Ça vire. En vrai, je le vire pas, hein. Je me fais un tartare. Je le fais cuire. Intestin, ça dégage. Électrocution, chaîne, ça vire. Livre de compétences, fleur affamée. Ça, je vais peut-être le garder, je trouve fun. Limace de feu. Ouais. Hâte. Noir, ça me sert à rien. Réveil des veuves, des ossements, ça peut être marrant. Grève de peau, ça me sert à rien. Le déployer, c'est marrant. Porte d'éternité, ça me sert à rien. Couture arcanique, ça ne me sert à rien. Ensuite, épée elfique, ça dégage. La clé mort, bah non, j'ai déjà bien meilleur. hache nordique, elle dégage. On commence à faire un peu de place. Bâton magique de lézard, arbalète de nain. Ok, les pics. Tac. Pic 56. Ouais, allez, tac, équilibré comme ça, ce sera pas mal. Vas-y, go. Plus 1 en bienveillance. Très bien, allez. On vire les conneries. Parfait.
If that's some kind of riddle, I ain't about to play along. Now, unless you've got something on your mind.
Et quoi?
Fish. This is a fish factory. I'm shipping fish to Arx. Now, please, there's the door. I suggest you use it. When you've been in business as long as I have, you learn that there's a market for everything.
Le découvrir.
You just have to find it.
Le créer.
Or
a dark shadow passes across his face.
sometimes it finds you. That's privileged information. I have a trade to protect.
Se défoncer, il a intérêt à vous répondre. Totalement digne de confiance. Oui. Merde.
You take me for a fool? Good day to you. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Et du coup... putain, je peux rien... Pamphlet d'avertissement. Ok, bon, déjà on sait que lui, il achète du matos. Déjà. Magister Manson. Déjà, on sait que lui, il peut acheter du matos, donc déjà c'est cool. Ok. Putain, on a bien looté comme des porcs ici. On va aller voir ici. Qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire? Putain, je me pèle le cul, bordel de merde. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça?
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch of her eyelids. She calmly opens her left eye, then her right.
Okay.
What do you want?
Nah, nice quiet spot for a dwarf to get some shut-eye. Cobwebs, I reckon. Maybe some spiders and silverfish, rats. Nothing you want. Unless you collect cobwebs, I guess.
Succès impossible.
Wine all you want. I'm staying and you're leaving. And that's that.
Before you can ask more, the dwarf holds up her hands and closes her eyes. She's done talking.
Ok. Les salons du jardin de pierre. Okay. Très bien, très bien, très bien, très bien. Alors là-bas, qu'est-ce qu'on a?
Be wary. That hound has a nose for sauce.
On va se barrer. Ok, donc ici ça pue du cul. Hop. Un chat. Pox. Très bien, bonjour Pox.
The cat stares up at you. Its midnight black pupils are too prominent for you to discern the colour of its glazed eyes.
8 lives already gone, but I'd gladly lose the last if you can throw me a fish. One of those smelly kind. But I need 'em. So yummy. They taste like shadows and spoiled cream and turn the air dark. It feels so beautiful against my fur, like being caressed.
The cat eats the fish in a few seconds' time, then looks up at you and gives a groggy meow.
Maybe I should stick to the good stuff for a while. But I'll miss the shadow.
He pokes his nose at your map, leaving a wet spot.
Merci.
I think you'll find something interesting there. Found me some goodies during life number 6. Now, if you don't mind, I need a bit of me time.
Il est trop mignon en plus. Très bien, bah merci, écoute. Content d'avoir pu t'aider. Bonjour.
Occupied! Oh, unholy hells! Do I sound like I'm all right?
Non, justement.
That's what I get. Bloody tainted stew. Makes a little fish into some of my stew. Bloody mackerel must have been tainted. Save me, Lucian. Oh, heavens. Leave me.
Attends, tiens, toi, tu vas lui causer.
The Magister turns to you with a squat.
Oui.
Look around. Would you be happy stuck guarding this bloody place? 10 years of service and he stick me in a hole with a bunch of speechless goons. The new leadership ought to learn to respect its veterans. We're the ones who uphold the rule of law, not white ponches like Raymond and Jonathan.
A sly smile creeps across the Magister's face.
Aye, and sooner than you might think, if the rumours are true. Let's just say, there's other places where I'd be appreciated more than I am in Driftwood.
The Magister loses some of his bluster.
I ain't saying. It's a secret for loyal members of the Divine Order only.
Très bien.
Who asked you? You're not even supposed to be down here.
Dex. Mais putain, j'ai une méga dextérité, quoi. Me fais pas chier. Constitution. Il a une bonne constitution, le fauve, il me semble. Ouais, il a une bonne constite. Une grosse force aussi. Hop, voilà.
The Magister turns to you with a...
What?
The Magister glances at you like you're...
Keep out of it. That's what I want to know. Stuck here with them silent. The new leadership ought to learn to respect its veterans. We're the ones who uphold the rule of law, not...
A sly smile.
Aye, and sooner than you might think, if the rumors are true. Who asked you? You're not even supposed to be down...
Ah, putain,
The
enfin.
Magister glances around the cells before ripping the keys
Yes!
from his belt and casting them.
Putain, c'est pas trop tôt, quoi.
This isn't the divine order I signed up for. Not anymore. I'm done.
Yes! Et ben voilà. Comment on fait déjà le côté furtif? Enfin, ouais, non mais complètement. Non. Ok.
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes. As if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
Yes, du loot. Pantalon de compétence. Fait un petit bout. Mais bon, il est long, donc bah voilà. Et comme je passe mon temps à me promener aussi.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe.
D'accord.
In your case, more than I suspect, man, God or even a reptile can provide. However, we must soldier on. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. Okay. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul.
Un minimum de conversation. Cette violence.
Quite. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are.
Ok. Très bien. Quel balnéaire. Oui, complètement. Ma main dans ta gueule, elle est encourageante.
Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush to the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, God-woken.
Ok. Refuloub, bien mangé alors. Oh là là. Venons causer.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, God-woken?
Possibilité de découvrir la vérité.
You would trade every soul in Rivellon for the sake of knowledge. You would make a ferocious librarian.
On va échanger ça contre de la thune. Ok.
No, becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else.
Pour vous-même, non? On va un tout petit peu.
Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then, well, not inhale the smoke, but whatever the skeletal equivalent is.
Et salut Moriaki, bienvenue à toi sur le stream.
Ignore any feelings of dizziness, itchy bones, or a dire sense of existential dread. They are all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a void-woken would be even more inconvenient. So if you wouldn't mind...
The Meister points sharply.
Et bonne année du coup, Moriaki. Bienvenue sur le stream.
Once, although not by a god woken. My assistant did not believe that one had to be chosen by a god to become
Ça a du mal
divine.
tourner.
She waves a bandaged hand absent-mindedly, wincing slightly.
A headstrong and thoughtless girl, but the experience was was quite educational. From observing her, I gather that the ritual involves inhaling the smoke, a lot of screaming, and a rather sudden death.
Ok.
And putting our faith in you is a risk Rivellon must take. If you need more detailed information about the ritual, see the tome on a plinth by the bookcase. But be quick about it. We do not have much time.
Ok, allons-y.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order.
Alors, voyons voir. Est-ce
After
qu'on
a quick
a
rummage,
le
you
bidule?
spot the black
Rachis
nestled between
noir.
the grated dragon's tongue and drudenay oil.
Pilule de Drudenay, ok.
You gather up the black root, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed.
Ok. Très bien. Alors, voyons voir. Est-ce qu'on peut se mettre là? Voyons. Sauve de sang, le vôtre. Alors, alors, combiner. Où est le bidule? Ça. Ok, combiner. Ouais, jette de rituel. Ok, ensuite. Tac. Tac. Combiné. Non. Merde. Alors, comment est-ce que je peux faire? Utiliser. Non, renforcer. Poudre de moelle de oiseau. Ah oui, d'accord. Ok, effectivement. Alors, on va combiner ça avec ça. On combine. Très bien. Jade de rituel. Très bien. Alors, attendez. On va essayer de se pousser. Je le sens mal. Faire une petite sauvegarde. Et on va prier.
As the smoke swirls about your skull, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading.
Allez,
As
allons-y.
the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
Et plouf.
Recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Ah bah, nous y revoilà. Allons-y. Et salut Juto, bienvenue à toi sur les streams. Tic tic. Bonjour. Pic pouk. Bonjour, Fail. Moi.
Bathed in the half-light of this eerie, starless landscape, you spot a figure you could only describe as you. Another you.
Très bien.
It looks haggard and weak, its voice merely a feeble echo of your own.
Thane, my child, come. Come closer. Let us be revealed. No beast, no monster, merely an illusion to be dispelled.
The apparition clasps your face in shaking skeletal hands, and you feel a tingle run through your bones. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color before fading back to their accustomed spectrum.
Putain, ça pue.
Time to open the eyes you lost so long ago. To see the world as you once did. Speak the spell and see.
D'accord. Alors, vision spirituelle. Alors, c'est un peu le merdier dans mon truc. Vision spirituelle. Bah, whoop!
A strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Amadia in all her spectral glory.
Très bien.
You know me now, don't you, Fane? Your sister, your guardian. You were my hero once. You must be so again. Your kindred soul was my last refuge, my last bastion. From here I can aid you, but only if you grant me one small kindness.
En termes de montée, je t'ai déjà sauvé le cul une fois, je t'ai aidé machin et tout, donc ouais, non, ça passe.
Amadia stretches out and nourishes herself from a source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Et merci Mariki pour le follow. Ah non, mais tournoyant pour te remercier. Merci à toi. Alors j'ai plus de source en fait, hein, je me suis fait niquer donc.
Ah, yes. That is better. That is so much better. Truly, dying does not become a god.
Vous êtes un dieu, vous étiez comme elle autrefois. D'arrêter d'en faire des tonnes, vous êtes un éternel, après tout, vous ne pouvez tout simplement pas mourir. Oui, accessoirement. Ça va?
The forces of the king are hunting us down, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We are battling for our very survival, and I doubt you would have us lose, Fane. Should we perish, we will be cast into oblivion, and I dare not dream what he will do to you.
C'est de mieux en mieux.
Indeed, he may come to fear you.
Come at me, bro! Viens, viens, on va se battre, la bagarre!
You must realize, dear one, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one.
Très bien, j'ai donc une déesse à l'intérieur du dedans de moi. Non mais cool. Enfin une déesse qui était aussi ma frangine, accessoirement.
United, we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we are to survive the onslaught of the king and his void minions, you must remember what you have forgotten. We must become vastly more powerful.
Go.
And once you are strong enough, we must travel to the Well of Ascension. There, you will become even more powerful. It is a lake, a pool of pure source, containing half the powers of each of the gods.
D'accord.
We gave those powers up freely to create the first divine, a mortal we infused with our united strength. To be, but you failed. You could be so much more, and that is why you must be the first to reach it, no matter what the cost. We had no choice. In the face of the Void's onslaught, our individual powers would never have been enough, although we still had the sense to leave him immortal. The Void has never been this strong. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in its powers, but to take them, all of them. Even all those powers will barely be enough to defeat the king.
Récupérer la moitié du pouvoir de tous les dieux.
Alas, I fear it is too late for me, and the others have shown they cannot be trusted. You are innocent, Fane. That is why you must wield the power.
Salut Raga, bienvenue à toi sur le stream.
Of course, the others are saying the same to their mortal god Woken as we speak.
Normal.
But there can be only one. So make no mistake, dear Fane. The road to divinity may well mean the blood of those 6 traitors staining your ivory hands.
Alors non, déjà.
But do not let that dismay you.
You will save these mortals. You will save this world. You will save me, the last of your true kin. And you will become a god. Dearest heart, you cannot tell me you look about this world and see an eternity. The others have picked up the taint of their mortal pets and contaminated this world accordingly.
Ouais, c'est fun quand même, quoi.
You and I are the last Eternals, Fane. That is why it will be us. That is why it must be us.
Et les autres?
What of them? They have chosen other Godwoken. They chose to reject us, to reject you.
Ouais.
Each one grooms their own champion to unseat you from your rightful place. If left to their mercy, we would be slaves.
Ou alors on en cause tous et on décide d'y aller les quatre ensemble et puis point barre en fait, hein, on va pas se casser le cul. Hein.
Do not weep for their fate, my child. Their doom is of their own making. They will be at your mercy, which is vastly preferable to you being at theirs, wouldn't you agree? So fret not, but revel in the promise of the lake. I will lead you there when you are ready, when you have remastered the source and once again speak the language of creation. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source as you once did, and wield its most powerful spells.
Laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You flatter me, dear child. But if all I had to do was give, you would have received long ago. We are I now. I shall teach you the spells you need to remember soon, but not before you relearn how to channel the source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek these masters of the source. They may be nothing but mortals, but like all mortals, they have their uses. Return to Rivellon. Seek them out.
D'accord, ça fait que j'aurai plus qu'un seul point de source en fait, ce qui est plutôt bien, je pense.
Once you have, return to me here. You had forgotten how to view the world, my child. This will make you understand that for us, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is Source, and in Source it is, immortally so. Your vision has been restored, giving you the power to see spirits, the souls of dead mortals made manifest in Source.
D'accord.
Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you will see them, where the dead lie. Alas, I am no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. I will teach you what I can, but the links that will expand the bounds of your soul. Good luck, dear Fane. Make me proud.
Ok. Allons-y.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What do you know?
Votre déité qui se cache en vous, les nouveaux pouvoirs qui vous ont été conférés, les maîtres de la source. Ce fumée noire nous abonde de votre organisme. Après, ne sont pas destinés aux oreilles des mortels.
The Meister's eyes flash with fury, but she holds her tongue and steps back.
You are not a pile of ash, so the ritual was a success, albeit partially. You had all the material requirements, so I can only assume your source was lacking. That is unfortunate.
Poursuivez ces enseignements. Je sais pas ce que vous devez faire ensuite. Capable de tout. C'est pas comme si le fait de gagner était facile.
Indeed not. And ever more difficult when you've been purged. I was a master of source once, but no longer. The Magisters saw to that.
J'ai un casque en fait qui permet de récupérer la source.
The river of my source has been dammed. My link to the font from which it flows, severed. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Were the circumstances any different, I would indeed agree. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them.
Ça va?
And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters. My, you have been a busy little creature, haven't you? Yes, they would do nicely.
Eh ben, allons-y.
You may need to visit several of them. I doubt anyone would be willing to give up all of their secrets.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
Attendez, je suis sûr qu'il y a moyen de faire quelque chose. Bien. Il y a là-dedans. Ça va mieux?
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales have...
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to proceed? Then why, pray tell, are you wasting...
Oh putain, casse-couille.
The squirrel seems to be flicking through various scraps of paper, humming and hawing as he goes. After some time, he throws the scraps to the wind and spurs on his cat.
Ok. Bon, on va accrocher les trucs.
The shimmering ghost of a kin magister turns her gaze upon you. She holds your stare, boring into your skull, searching the hollows of your eyes for the secrets of your soul. But in so doing, she shows you hers.
Allons-y!
You are Zeus-Han, a young lizard magister, devoted to the order. More than this, you are in love with a comrade, a human man of wit and kindness and sweet disposition, who goes by the name of Boris.
Ce soir, chez Boris, c'est soirée disco. Doup doubi doubi doup. Comment la périm, c'est le fait qu'il soit mort, laisser l'esprit poursuivre sa vision. Alors, on va peut-être pas lire.
The confusion in her eyes quickly turns to empty, desperate, desolate sadness. She bows her head, as if this is the end. The last shred of what she thought was real has now gone. She takes one last wander through her memories. You are Zeus-Han once more. Alexander dies. Worse, your human comrades look at you askance, as if his murder was your fault. Even Boris turns against you. When he's posted to Fort Joy, he does not say goodbye.
Alexander meurt, mais putain, mais on l'a buté tout à la fin, je comprends pas.
Your heart is broken. Posted to the graveyard shift in the dark of night on the outskirts of town, you do your duty diligently, but your heart is no longer in it. So when you catch a couple of young sorcerers fleeing Raymond's net, you see how deeply in love they are. You do not turn them in, you help them to escape. But in the morning, they are caught and under torture give you up. They go to Fort Joy. You are hanged right here.
Nickel.
She bows her head, ready to depart. And she fades away.
Ok. Eh oui. Oh le lapinou. C'est le lapinou, c'est le lapinou. C'est le lapinou dans la garrigue.
Mating season. Again. If I have to deal with one more buck looking to court me, I'll take a chunk out of his ear.
Ok.
Many marvels.
Quoi?
Fame. The things you've seen. The things you've done. Why not let your bones rest? Why not stay here with me?
The fuck? Alors déjà, pourquoi tu veux que je reste...
A great pounding suddenly erupts in your barren chest cavity, rattling your bones. Your inner god roars and bellows, an incoherent, maddening cacophony.
Que faille.
It is awful how she treats you. She asks so much and gives so little in return. You know who I am, Fame. I am the only one who cares. They will say otherwise. They always do, don't they? But in the end, they will betray you.
Alors ça c'est le genre de truc. Si je demande à quelqu'un qui il est, c'est justement parce que je ne sais pas qui il est. Donc me dis pas, tu sais qui je suis. Non, justement, je sais pas, connard. Sinon, je te demanderai pas.
Don't play her game. Think of yourself. Rest here. The sun is golden. No one will bother you. This moment can last forever, if you let it.
A sudden weariness washes over, bone deep and as irresistible as a strong current.
Don't fight it. This is how it's supposed to be. Sleep now. When you wake, it will be in a new world. A beautiful world. I only wanted to give you rest, not pain. Now, I leave you to my children. They are many. They are impatient. They lack my gentle touch.
What?
I am sorry, Fame. Truly, I would have embraced you.
What? Ma belle. Ma belle. Michel. Il y a plein de bestioles, c'est cool. Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Géraldine. Qu'est-ce qui vous arrive, les meumeux? Trop dalle pour les jouer. 2 jours que j'ai pas allumé le PC. D'accord. Bah, va manger, Benka. Merci pour le sub encore. Et à... bonne app, en fait. Bonne app.
They're still here. I know they're still here. My apologies for my idiot friend, but we could really use your help.
Je vais lui demander du lait.
You won't believe it. You won't believe it, Mabel.
Oh, j'ai déjà mangé. Ok, ok. Bon, allez, gigola, j'ai trop dalle pour aller jouer. 2 jours que j'ai pas allumé le PC. Mais je pensais que t'avais trop... Ah, mais d'accord, ok. Mais je pensais que t'avais pas encore mangé, vu que tu parles que t'as trop la dalle, c'est pour ça.
Truth is, kind miss, that we are not, in fact, cows. At least not such. We're people. Captives, to be exact. Enslaved by the witch. You're not here to visit Alice Elysian, are you? So will you help us?
She won't help us. Look at her. Can barely help herself.
Salope.
Yes, miss. Please help us.
A plus, Venka. Bon week-end aussi d'avance.
Mabel, she can hear us whispering.
Oui.
I know, Geraldine, I know. Now shut up. Look, we really do need your assistance.
Just get us something to drink.
What my friend here means to say, kind lady, is that there's a cure for our condition. Alice Elysion has it in her house. If we could drink it, we could regain our former forms, as it were, and steal away.
Don't mention the rats.
For God's sake, Geraldine.
What rats?
They're just ordinary rats. Nothing special or awful about them at all. Wouldn't let them worry you.
The witch ain't here.
Merci, je m'en étais douté.
What my friend wishes to say is that Alice went into the cloister wood collecting herbs and hasn't been seen in some time. But that there, just down the way, is her house. She has a frog. You can't miss it. Would you mind awfully procuring for us a small potion that Alice Elysion keeps in her cellar? We'd rather like to, you know, assume our rightful forms and toddle off. Thanks ever so.
Thank the gods.
I humbly thank you. You won't regret it.
Vous avez du lait?
Don't be disgusting. We hardly know you.
Sure.
Geraldine.
Oh, right, yeah. Disgusting. Sorry, better not.
Lol. Premier mur. Bonjour. Je peux pas les causer. Toi?
Oh, hello there. A fine day it is. And the finest day for a wee saunter through the trees it is too. Not even any voidwoken left to spoil it.
Très bien.
Oh, just the best. Just the bee's knees, really. I've made more money today than in the last month combined, thanks to a group of magisters who were in such a hurry they didn't have time to haggle. Some sorcerer who fled by earlier, and she paid a handsome toll too. Glory, what a marvellous day. Whoa, not so fast. I do try to be nice about it and all that, but this bridge is Marge's business. Since it is such a fine day, I can let you pass at a discount if you entertain me with tales of valiant voidwoken battle. Otherwise, full price. Think all you like, but please do your thinking elsewhere. Only paying customers get to enjoy the magnificent views from my bridge.
Ok. C'est vrai que c'est beau. Est-ce que je peux juste looter le mec là?
Ah, you again. Got the coin to... If you're not a paying customer...
Non, putain, mais laisse-moi looter.
Ah, you again. That'll be the regular toll. Over you go, and be sure to appreciate the bewitching.
Voilà, 3 balles, ça va, c'est pas la mort.
As looks like.
Bonjour.
You want some honey? Yeah, can't I do? Bees are dead. Bees are dead. Bees. Oh, bees dead. Good thing too, 'cause honey. We can't have it. It's ours.
Ok. Cabu. Bonjour.
Honey, bog off. It's the best honey ever. Makes a bear feel good. So bog off. It's ours. It's our honey. Bog off.
Allez hop. Bonjour.
Back off, pigeon! This is my bridge, and I don't suffer fools on it.
The enormous, unusually red troll looms over you with his fists clenched threateningly. His expression is stern, yet you can see the tiniest twinkle in his intelligent eyes.
Didn't hear me the first time, parrot?
He smiles a jagged and magnanimous grin. Each pitchfork-pointed tooth seems to threaten you individually.
Okay.
We'll see. You want to cross my bridge?
Ouais.
Well, I killed them. Nobody crosses my bridge for free, and they didn't pay the toll. Mind you, they hadn't tongues to bargain with, nor pockets for coin. But still, a troll must stand by his principles.
He rubs his leathery hands together with glee.
Sure. One regular priced bridge crossing coming right up. And I don't want to hear any whiny little baby noises about it either.
Okay.
His eyes narrow to glinting slits, and a deep laugh shakes his whole frame.
There is one thing.
Ouais.
The competition. Take out my competition, and I could waive the usual fee. A little magpie fella.
Ah putain, Mario, ok.
He's not fit to be a bridge keeper. He took over the other bridge across, and he's too cheap. I can't compete with his ridiculous prices. That's a little non-committal, but I'll take what I can get around here.
Grog drags a rough map in the dust of the bridge with one claw. He then spends an inordinate amount of time sketching a highly vulgar doodle of this Marge he wants you to take care of.
There.
Très bien.
Now, for the moment, you'll need to back off. No pay, no stay.
Ok. On va aller voir Marc. On va voir ce qu'il va en dire, lui. Okay. Alors, Marg, dis...
Ah, you again. Got the coin to pass, have you? Isn't a healthy business environment just wonderful? Grog and his pathetic bridge give me just the little kick of competition I need to improve my service. And increase my prices.
Marge bats his eyelashes at you. You can't quite tell whether he's serious or not.
What? After all we've been through together. Truly, who has the finer bridge here? You should be working on eliminating the weakest link. Which, in case it isn't crystal clear, is Grog. Well, good. If you're not a paying customer, I'm afraid I'll have
Il veut
to ask you
me faire repayer à chaque fois que je passe le pont, ce petit enfoiré là.
Back so soon.
De vous faire une meilleure offre.
I said get rid of him, not natter with him like two old ladies. Kill him! Kill him now! Traitor! Turncoat! Tattletale!
He smirks as he raises tree-trunk-sized arms overhead and lunges for you. Somehow, you get the feeling that you're actually giving him what he really wanted all along. And...
Baston! Très bien. Merde, il prend de la source cet enfoiré. Alors, du coup... Ouh la vache, ça va être infâme de le buter, lui. Alors, il va falloir qu'on fasse les choses. S'il y a moyen de lui foutre un gros coup de schlass, plus ça, ça peut être pas mal.
Keep it up, puny fleshbag. Your blows mean nothing to me.
Ok, donc le froid, ça lui fait rien. L'électricité, peut-être? Non plus. Très bien. Et les coups de schlass? Alors, attends. Ça va être chaud du cul. Fait qu'on se gaffe.
How about you back off, pigeon?
The enormous...
Didn't hear me the first time, parrot?
He smiles at...
We'll see. Look at this. No taxpayer coin.
He kicks the edge of the bridge, sending a sizable chunk of rock flying perilously close to your eye.
I'm the only thing standing between this bridge and the void. These days, everything is in decline. Well, I find you. A troll must stand.
He rubs his...
And I don't want to hear any...
His eyes narrow.
The competition. Take out my competition. A little Pete. That's a little...
Grog drag...
There.
Ok. Il va falloir que je regarde. Il va falloir que je fasse gaffe. Il va falloir que je fasse gaffe. Ok, oui, on va. Où est-ce que je pourrais trouver ça? Je me demande s'il n'y a pas moyen de dégoter des bidons d'explosifs. Pour lui foutre sur la gueule. Bon, ici en revanche, je pourrais buter Marg. Après, Marg, franchement, me coûte pas si cher.
You again. Got that isn't a healthy business.
Marge bats his eyelashes at...
What? After all we've... Truly. Who has the fine... Well, good. Oh, that's not so nice.
Très bien. Bonjour. Aïe. Hop, on va les causer. Récupérer tout le reste.
Is that so soon? I said kill him! Oh?
He shoots you a patronizing smile. The
Good for you. I know you wanted to impress and feel...
Ok, je prends les gants de maille. Ah, attends, plus une adresse, plus 2 de chance de crit. Oh! Bon, alors il est moins bon que tout à l'heure. Attendez. Plus 1 furtivité, plus 1 initiative, chasseur en vocation. Ouais, ah, putain, merde. Bon, plus 1 adresse, c'est cool quand même. C'est cool. Ok. On va reculer. Et voilà, tempête ardente. Alors, tac tac. Clac. Nickel, à 23, 6. Alors, résistance, 23, 6. suis à un peu plus d'adresse de base. T'es comme trop ok. Voilà, comme ça, lui après une idée de source, c'est cool. Alors je tombe cristal nébuleux, ok. Un mort, truc visqueux. Encore un nain mort.
Smells like blood and death. I wonder what I've stumbled upon.
TP quelqu'un en bas là? Non. Ah si, peut-être, remarque. On va mettre un TP fan ici. Hop. Juste attendre que je me refasse ma vie. Voilà. Les poissons pourris.
Lying at your feet is a strange lamp of ancient design. Spots of gold shimmer through the thick grime that coats it. As you hunker down for a closer look, the lamp jerks slightly, almost imperceptibly.
Polir avec ardeur. Elle peut revoir cette épée. Ouais.
The lamp feels strangely hot to your touch. As you wipe away the years of dirt and grime, it trembles in your hand. Heavy smoke spills out of the spout of the lamp, falling to your feet, where it flows away from you.
Who summons m- What? One of you?
Oui.
His face twists into a sneer, and he flexes his claws.
What's wrong, Godwoken? Did the Seven turn you down too? Or are you here seeking even more power? I should strike you down where you stand, God-taint. Because it would be a kindness. I've known the power you feel, the promises you were made. I too was named Godwoken once.
C'est con, c'est quand même méga classe.
My God gave it all. Power, glory, hope. It was intoxicating. Until she took it away.
Ah. Deep inside, you can feel your God stirring. It's recoiling, revolted. No wonder Zor's Stissa turned this one away.
Unworthy, she said. Unworthy to be divine. So she gave it to another. What kind of a monster gives you that power only to strip it from you? To promise you will be the light of the world and then cast you into darkness? There was so much wrong with the world. So much that I needed to fix. So I sought power elsewhere. The Void said I could have eternal power. That I could be the light of the world.
Ah mais le néant c'est le méchant.
And it delivered. I have power unlike any Godwoken, even if I lack my freedom. It laughed as I was sealed away in that lamp. Be the light of the world, Godwoken, it said. Even so, it was more honest than your hellish Seven. Three? Why should I grant you one? You and your gods are a blight upon this world. I would rid the world of your corruption, not help you spread it. Threaten me when I have become so much more than Godwoken. I will wear your entrails for ribbons, God scum.
transforme. Bah, ah bon, d'accord. Très bien. Ça va, oui? Pas autour. Bah écoute, tu vas l'attaquer. Hein. Voilà. Là, tu vas me téléporter. Ah putain, c'est bien de vue. Ah bah bon, bonjour.
I've spotted something.
A fisherman stares at the water, muttering to himself.
Ok.
The missus will kill me. She'll tear me a new mouth halfway down my neck.
T'as quoi avant? Autant peu de trucs. Est-ce que je peux te filer ça? T'as combien? 212? 218? Allez, vas-y pour 218. T'as qu'à équilibrer, ça a l'air bien.
Fish will bite, all right. Not that you'd eat one. I've got a worse problem than that. Way, way worse. I've gone and dropped my wedding ring in the water.
Ah!
I was casting a line and I cast my bloody wedding ring instead. Guess my fingers aren't as fat as they used to be. I could do that. I could. But seeing as the ring has a bit of sauce to it, like as not,
putain, ok.
going in there will attract Voidwoken. All things equal, between an angry wife and Voidwoken, I'm leaning towards the wife. Just a hint, nothing that concerned a Magister, made me feel that little bit more confident in myself. Maybe it was all in my head, but I felt like the ring made me more attractive to the women. I wouldn't do the dirt or anything, but it's good for the ego.
Okay.
Keeps the wife on her toes too. I'm not asking you to risk your life on account of me and my marital woes, but if you fancy a paddle, you can go right ahead.
Ouais, ouais, on va voir. Espagne contaminé, coquillage. Ah non, ok. Fléau de la marée. Merde. Oh putain! Alors. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ces petits trucs? Rejetons du néon glissant. Alors.
A horrified fisherman stares at the water, muttering to himself.
That was terrifying. I need to get myself a new line of work. Something as far away from the water as I can go. Goat herd, high on a mountain. Spice trader in the desert. Anything but this. If the missus will go for it, of course. She likes the beach. You found it! How wonderful! The wife will be thrilled. Or she would if she ever found out about this, which of course she won't. But I can't thank you enough.
He slips the ring onto his finger, where it dangles loose.
I feel better already. I need to fatten myself up again so I don't lose it a second time. Can't be relying on the kindness of strangers to dig me out. The very best to you. I wish you well.
With a new confidence in his stance, he turns back to his fishing.
Ah bah écoute. Au moins il est content. Au moins il est content. Bon.
Ifan looks uneasy, even hangdog.
Qu'est-ce qui t'arrive?
Ever tell you I worked with Lucian? Fact is, I was once pretty high up in his divine order. He was a good man. He was. And trust me, the divine order of today has nothing to do with Lucian's. Everything started to go downhill during the war after my last mission.
Je te crois, t'inquiète.
He closes his eyes as he speaks, forehead creasing with effort.
You know sacrifices had to be made during the war? Well, Lucian knew he needed to use death fog to eliminate the Black Ring. But doing that would kill the elves also. So we came up with a plan. I was to hurry through the forests with a rift portal for the elves, so they could escape before the death fog exploded. But something went wrong. I was too late. The death fog exploded just as I arrived, and the elves were... Trying isn't enough. And I won't rest until I know why Lucian didn't wait.
Ok, donc il le savait pas.
Anyway, let's keep moving. There's no gains to be had wallowing in the past.
C'est des choses qui arrivent.
North, Blood Moon Island. West, Reaper's Bluffs. South, Beach. East, Driftwood.
Ok. Pétrole. J'étais parti par où, moi? Qu'est-ce que j'ai exploré? Qu'est-ce que je n'ai pas exploré? Et là, ok.
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch of her eyelids. She slowly opens her left eye, then her right, and wipes away the slobber.
What's it to you, slow wit?
She rolls her eyes before closing. The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch. The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse. She calmly opens her left eye, then her right.
I ain't one of your crew, Captain. What do you want? Nah, nice quiet. Cobwebs, I reckon. Maybe some spiders and silverfish, rats. Nothing you want. Unless you collect cobwebs, I guess. Queen, my behind. You ain't much of a trickster, fatty.
Before you can ask more, the dwarf holds up her hands and closes her eyes. She's done talking.
Ok, non mais on va la...
You best get.
She rolls her eyes.
Ok, bon, il reste un.
The dwarf is unnaturally... She calmly opens her left...
What do you want? Cobwebs, I reckon. Maybe some spiders and silverfish. Ain't hardly nothing. This is the warmest corner in the house, is all. And didn't I tell you to scram? Ah, that's your game, is it? Good thing I came ready to play.
Très bien. Contre-coup. Ok.
There we go. The door's opening.
Bonjour.
By Duna's dagger. You here to free us or kill us?
Qu'est-ce que vous faites?
You're not getting an answer till you keep your hands free of wands and such.
Good to see you'd rather flap your lips than fight.
Well.
We're here looking for a slippery snake called Mordus. This here's his quarters, but ain't no sign of him.
Only thing we managed were to close that door behind us and get us stuck. Supposed to be another door out there, but never could find it.
Ain't no telling where that priest went off to. Started acting all funny not so long ago. Then flew the coop. Well, at first, he was just buddying around with Lohar and the rest, you know. But then he'd start looking all sickly and run off for a day or two. Then some stranger tried taking old Lohar down, but got himself caught and tied up. Ain't no coincidence Mordus went hanging around then.
She taps a finger against her forehead.
A woman knows things. Nothing's getting past me. Best we head off then. We've got business to attend to.
Très bien. J'y vais, pas de soucis. Quoi, ils sont remontés ou ils sont explorés autre chose? Non, ils se sont barrés. On va... On sait pas embarquer tout ce qu'on peut. Quoi ça?
The shrine depicts Duna, yet has clearly seen better days. Scratches and fissures deface its exterior, and its eyes have been gouged hollow. Your words are swallowed by the chamber's thick air.
Ok, bon, on verra plus tard pour toucher ce truc.
For Alexander the Innocent, killed by sorcerers.
Allez, c'est parti.
Interrupted my newest masterpiece.
Ta gueule. Qu'est-ce que t'as? Alors déjà, t'as un peu de bordel. Le kraken. Yes.
The bard clears his throat and gargles on his own saliva. He then returns to his poem, but his voice cracks mid-verse.
Well, never you mind. Every sonnet I compose is a mark. Wait! You might be just the stimulus I needed. I shall craft a rhyme for you and your race. All I ask in return is a handful of coins. It's an offer of a lifetime. Magnificent. But if I am to write a first-rate work,
allez, vas-y.
You must face some difficult questions.
He stares at you for a few torturing moments.
Your eyes betray the guilt of the human race.
Attends de ravager
You believe
Rivelin.
it's your right to ravage Rivelon. What say you?
Les humains sont pas si insupportables que ça. Non, regarde, Ifan ça va, Loge ça va. Le fauve, aucun problème. Ça va.
He smiles a crooked smile and runs a hand through his greasy hair.
Ah, arrogance. That most peculiar of human traits, given your lack of cultural accomplishment. Save
argent.
to elect in worship of greed. What riches do you seek? Indeed. You seem almost fearless in your conviction. But I know better. Stripped of their swords and shields, humans are as fragile as flower petals. Admit your cowardice.
The bard hems and haws, then bellows his next words to anyone who might hear.
To all lovers of verse, I bring glorious news. I have completed another modern classic.
J'ai très peur.
Now, and bask in its resounding refrain.
Récupérer mes 20 balles.
Keep the rhythm of patrol. Humankind establishes control.
I don't think you know even a small
Sound the horn and shout the battle cry. 'Tis through their might that peace may multiply.
Okay.
The riches world over do they seek, and flush with gold they'll lord o'er the meek. So journey forth and tread the proper trail, and shout to all, the humans must prevail! You must be delighted by my newest ode. Oh, soon bards throughout Rivelon will sing it. Fame, notoriety, neither, or both. The thing about a good verse is that it wiggles into the ear. People think it's just a catchy rhyme, but it changes minds and hearts for good and for ill. Why not? I'll even give you a discount. Ah, right you are, right you are. But I must ask some
Vas-y.
uncomfortable questions. Are you ready to answer?
He stares at you for a few torturing moments.
Your eyes betray the guilt of the human race. You believe it your right to ravage Grivalon. What say you?
He smiles a crooked smile and runs a hand through his greasy hair.
Ah, arrogance. That most peculiar of human indeed. You seem almost fearless in...
The bard hems and haws, then bellows his next...
To all lovers, bitter march of humans unabated. This world of war and cruelty they created. They shall not stop till all the world's a waste. And signs of all other cultures erased. The riches world over do they seek. And flush with gold, they'll lord o'er the meek. Yet all is just facade, a frail shell. Once shattered, they alone descend to hell.
If the poem be true, then maybe humans ain't so arrogant. Still got my suspicions though.
Descend to hell.
Vas-y, équilibre la thune, file-moi nos argents. Okay.
Then a smile creases his face. A smile carefully constructed to look friendly and authentic. A smile that doesn't reach his eyes.
Greetings, stranger. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world? You're in the right place. Beers are ordered at the bar, but can I interest you in a nourishing bowl of stew?
Alors ton ragoût chelou
He
là.
purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you.
I'm sorry, I mistook you for a different kind of person. My mistake. I shall return to serving me other customers, and I wish you a good, if boring, appetite. I'm sorry, it's not about the money. Really, you insult me now. This is about fellowship, about a shared world view amongst devotees of strange and exhilarating experiences. Money is irrelevant.
A smile spreads across his face. He holds out his hand.
Il est toujours utile de connaître le prix d'un homme. Vous détourner et partir, ce serait ultra classe.
Now we're speaking the same language. So, let me ask you this. Across the world, who is renowned above all others for their exquisite love-making abilities? Well, isn't that a shame? Listen, my friend. There's no lover livelier than a lizard. And for an insignificant sum, I can introduce you to the most luscious lizard the world has ever known. Well, this is what's available. Take it or leave it. And I suggest you take it. It's better to regret something you did than something you didn't do. Am I right?
He holds out his hand.
Oh, God. Okay then. You can pay me later. Or whenever you like, really.
J'aurais pu se les filer, non?
Now, let me ask you this. What flavor of stew do you prefer? Do you like the strong and meaty variety? Or do you prefer it delicate and fragrant, if you get my meaning?
Ça parle de cul. Alors, je pense que c'est Ifan qui serait le plus à même d'en profiter, et lui, en revanche, il mange de tout.
Upstairs, on the second floor. Her name is Zara. Pleasure is her business. Enjoy the experience of a lifetime.
He gives you a mischievous grin, then dips his head in salute and turns away, relieved that the conversation is over at last.
Au second. Second étage. Et les gars, Brax.
The bell still rings.
Salut.
A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. She fixes you with a sultry look, and when she speaks, it's like listening to honeyed smoke.
I'm so glad you came, but your friends will have to leave.
She turns her back on you and waits for your companions to leave.
Alors.
A lizard, tall and beautiful.
I'm so glad you've come. Are you here to water my flowers?
She purses her lips, tuts, tut tut tut.
Not so fast, hotshot. These things take time. If you're not in a mood for games, would you like me to dance for you? Or would you like to hear a poem? I like a lover who likes the arts. Here we go. A princess was once locked indoors.
She looks around at the stone walls of her room, then takes a step towards you.
She tended to get very bored.
She arches an eyebrow and takes 2 more steps towards you. She takes 2 more steps towards you.
A hunter did save her.
She gives you a wry smile that makes her eyes twinkle.
And asked for a favor. And then whispered, "Take me. I'm yours."
She reaches down, grabs you by the back of the head, and pulls you to her.
Oh my. You're undead. Darling, why didn't you say?
Her world explodes in pleasure.
Aïe 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 aïe. Quoi? Vous ne... Lol. Alors attendez. Extrêmement chanceux, putain. Alors attendez. Terramancien recruté. J'ai le temps de foudre et assassin recruté. Oula, qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Good morning, lovebirds. Holy hells, an undead. Again, Zara? Really?
You
You know me, Gil.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Leave him alone, Gil. This one's mine.
Listen, Burnbag. We're killing you and we're taking all your stuff. That's the deal. Ready?
Alors, ok, sac de fan, je n'ai rien d'autre. Le brick.
Stew is... He fixes you with a stare, looks you up and down, weighs you up. Then a smile creases his face.
Greetings, stranger. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world. You know it.
Enfin, une nouvelle sauvegarde. Comme ça, il va pouvoir choisir en fait ce qu'il fait.
It's a pay-to-play situation, I'm afraid.
He holds out his hand. The money vanishes into his apron.
Upstairs, on the 2nd floor. Her name is Zara. Pleasure is her business.
He gives you a mischievous grin. Then...
Très bien, hop.
A lizard, tall and beautiful, turns towards you. She fixes you with a sultry look, and when she speaks, it's like listening to honeyed smoke.
I'm so glad you've come. Are you here to water my flowers? I've been so lonely since my man went away to fight the coming war. I need someone to take care of me. You're so masculine, darling. Won't you take care of me? Come on over here, big boy, and I'll tell you.
So much love.
She bats her eyelashes.
What I'm thinking.
Il ferait mieux de la boucler de se déshabiller. Hein? Hein?
Holding your gaze, a shadow of a smile playing on her lips, she reaches for the clasp of her robe. You reach her, and she unfastens it. Then, quite deliberately, she lets it fall.
Oops.
Elle a laissé tomber quelque chose.
Why don't you pick it up for me, sugar?
She reaches down, grabs you by the back of the head, and pulls you to her. Your world explodes in pleasure.
Aïe, 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 aïe.
Good morning, lovebirds.
The swaggering rowdy stops dead in her tracks, a look of dubious recognition on her filthy face. She smiles uncertainly, gold teeth flashing for the briefest moment.
What the? Ifan? No little birdies told me you were back in town.
You, no Gil.
Can't deny it. And the guests can't deny that it's worth it too. But you're no guest. Welcome home. Come on, boys. Let's give Ifan some privacy and head on out to wait for the next guest. Oh, and Ifan, if you see any chumps down there who could do with a lighter purse, send them this away, for old time's sake.
Carefully keeping her eyes trained on yours, Jill tosses you the clothes you were wearing. The thugs retreat, each one shuffling backwards with eyes pinned to you the whole time. Zara suddenly looks terrified, not scared of them, but scared of you.
Please, forgive me.
She's relieved.
Je lui plante un truc dans la nuque.
It was worth it, wasn't it? Now, baby, you should leave. You don't need a thing like me dragging you down, hanging on to your heart.
She brightens and reaches for you.
Oh, do I? Why, yes. Yes, I do.
You fall into each other's arms once more. The world explodes in pleasure.
Aïe, aïe, aïe. Putain. Lol.
She sleeps deeply, her breathing soft and regular, the hint of a smile on her lips. She sleeps deeply.
Lol. Tout ce que je vais faire, c'est subtiliser le fromage. Le fromage. Grenade d'amour. Oh yeah. J'aime ça. Fromage. C'est complètement con ça en revanche. Oh, attends, on va remarquer ça là. Tu rigoles quoi? dégueulasses. Coucou.
I'm sorry. We're closed. Come back another time.
Ok. Tellement nawak. J'aimerais bien savoir d'où viennent ces putains de nains en revanche. Peut-être de là, je sais pas.
Stew is good.
He gives you his mischievous grin.
I did promise you the experience of a lifetime. That's the spirit.
T'as de la thune en plus, toi. Hein, ouais, c'est comme ça. De la thune.
He bows his head in salute and gets back to work.
How are you? Don't answer that. I'm just being polite. Hello to you.
Il veut pas y retourner, merde.
An elf sways on her chair, her eyes focused on the counter in front of her, where she has 6 glasses in a row. With the nails of 2 fingers, she's pressing red welts into her forearm.
Okay.
She slides one of the drinks towards you, her head bobbling heavily on her neck as she nods at the sparkling ale.
Complètement torché. Elle a l'air complètement torché.
The drink has barely any effect on you, bar a coldness in your ribcage and a wetness in your seat.
Nothing like a glass of the good stuff to smudge everything into a pretty shape.
She slides another glass of ale toward you. Its contents sparkle in the dim bar light.
Bottoms up. Can you just not? Cheers to you, me, and...
Her gaze swivels around the room.
Damien's dull knife. This place is horrible. Never mind. Cheers to you, me, and me again. Another. Oh, reckon that was. Reckon a one too many.
I'll take your order if you're polite, elf.
Nah. And another thing. Let me tell you something. Wheel of the good stuff. Let me tell you. That dwarf and an elf. Well.
Un nain et un elfe, ça donne quoi? Un elfe. D'accord. Et pour le prochain stream avec du worship et on va continuer comment ça s'appelle? On va continuer le donjon Nullbuck. Du coup, je vous souhaite une bonne nuit, un bon week-end, à mercredi.